Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tony Boy.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the best show with the best content for the best listeners. For the people that are just tuning in, I am your humble host, Trebles Garcia. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This is Paranoid Radio Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be the first episode of our Monday drop. A little cream for your coffee, a little jive for your vibe. That is right, and hopefully I continue to do these. Now, I'm dropping these on the beginning of every Monday, and I'm going to start giving you 2 episodes a week. The reason for that is because I need to start pumping out some content for all of you guys to show some gratitude and also to get better at this. And also because Paranoid Radio Podcast needs to blow the fuck up in 2023. Now, ladies and gentlemen, only you can make that happen. So make sure you please drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode or the podcast with your friends and family. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned before that we are dropping bombs of fucking truth every week. And in the beginning of the month, we're featuring our friend, our now, deep state correspondent and colleague and collaborator, Flash from Flash_News1. And in our most recent episode, he dropped bombs about Elon Musk, Twitter files, and there's a lot of things that we didn't get to go through. First, specifically, we spoke about Tate, but we use that as a hook because Andrew Tate, I'm against the fence about how I feel about him. There's a lot of things that I love how he sounds. I love how he plays out. I know women want him and men want to be with him. And like Flash said, there is some non-homo crush on this guy because we want to be like him. That's an ideal poster board conspiracy theorist billionaire that can put out a message across the room and he's a likable guy. So having said that, there's things that we touched on different topics that we covered on that episode, and there's things that we couldn't. Now, on this episode, I'm going to drop a little quick 15-20 minute episode, and I'm going to give you a hint and give you details on those topics that we couldn't touch on due to different reasons. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have my laptop in front of me, so I'm going to be searching things up on live on the recording, so I hope you guys can follow. And also a quick message out and shout out to Big Tank. Big T is not going to be able to join us. He's my PAC and my ride or die. And there's no other co-host like him. And just to make this clear, he is the best co-host on the fucking planet. But unfortunately, he also attends to his family, his job, and his other things to do. I should be thankful enough that he covers a lot of with me here on Paranoid with what is happening and all the shenanigans. And also at Pushing Rope Show. Now, I'm going to connect the randomizer machine and give you a preview review.
Paranoid Radio.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I read you a review from Apple Podcast. Now, the next comment says, No One Knows by Alexia Banales. No One Knows by Alexia Banales. 5 stars. If you know, you know. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. 100% with the little hand pointing up. Thank you so much for that amazing review on Apple Podcasts. As you already know, ladies and gentlemen, we say the most stupidest things on this show. We have names for each other and like Professor STD, etc., etc. And a lot of these things are not, it doesn't make us famous, but we are impactful and influential. And that's all that matters to us, that you guys enjoy the segments, enjoy the freaking phrases, enjoy the shenanigans, the craziness, and also the research that we put out. Now, thank you so much, Alexia Banales. This episode goes out to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the fucking mood. Striking with iron is hot, and you already know I always bring an introduction for these episodes. However, I'm changing the pace up on this, and I'm going to go a little bit more keeping it simple, stupid. I'm going to give you 2 stories that might take up the rest of this show. And I have to tell you these in a specific way because these are things that I could not bring up on the episode with Flash due for certain reasons. Pope Benedict was put in the hole for good. And I'm not trying to disrespect any Christians or Catholics out here. And I understand that even my co-host is a strong believer in his religion and his practices. And I don't bash anybody that does or has a religion. Believe it or not, guys, I'm a believer as well. I know there's a sole creator, an all-powerful, mighty, infinite God out there that created me in his image. I believe that, okay? When I'm in sorrow, I pray like you. I'm just a regular Joe. I also believe that the United States of America, the city of London, the Vatican, and many countless other empires out there have twisted the ideas and the morality of these beliefs. The religious beliefs, the people that make you pay for salvation are demons and demonic entities or influenced by them. For example, Benedict, may he rest in peace. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if I sound disrespectful, but it's the fucking truth. This guy was during his reign, and I'm gonna call it a reign. During his reign, there was check this out, hashtag look it up. This is on Google. I'm getting this shit from Google. Over 500,000. Dude, that's 500,000 people. Listen to me, dog. Over 500,000 children molested. There's over 500 cases. And yes, I come from the system, and I know that sometimes kids lie. Okay? I know sometimes kids could go to court and lie about their parents to put them in jail because they're either mentally unstable, chemically unstable, etc. I understand that maybe not all of it's truth, but it only takes one molestation case to make it all evil. That's it. And they don't know. That's not the hardest part about it. Over 1,000 priests, or I want to call it ministries from the Catholic Church or representatives, were expunged into other countries and other churches and other iconic areas of the Catholic power, where they keep their fucking bases. They were expunged. It only takes one priest to fucking put a bad name on you. And yeah, maybe he's just one bad apple, but then now you're hiding not just one apple, dog. Now you're hiding 1,000 bad apples that did 500,000 atrocities. That's just my point of view. Tell me what you think on the comment section on Instagram. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to talk shit on Catholics. But I also found out that Pope Francis, the most recent pope, he is now gathering, and he gathered with the leader of the Islamic religion, which I think is Muhammad, correct me if I'm wrong, and also now leading up and meeting up with Jewish leaders around the world at a summit, religious summit, to create and open up a center for Abrahamic family religion ministries with 3 different buildings built in a triangle with triangles on top of the triangle in Abu Dhabi in 2023. Now, these are centers to allegedly worship, but also centers to unify the 3 Abrahamic religions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I honestly think and I believe God when he wrote down or what he said, when he spoke us into existence, the Big Bang Theory, his voice, his vibration frequencies, like we are all vibrational frequencies. I honestly think that one day for God is more than 1,000 years for us, because we are a fish in a fish bowl, and God is outside the fish bowl. All the fish knows is the water, the food, and the walls of the fish bowl. I'm not saying we live in a fish bowl or in a closed environment or in a flat earth or in a dome. I am saying, though, that time is irrelevant for God. Time is a human construct. So Revelations is unfolding. The seals are breaking right in front of us. For the past 2,000, 3,000 years, the humankind has been going through changes and brand new resets and maybe collapses of empires, because that's Revelation. That's what it's all upon. We are all marked. We are all chipped. I'm holding a phone right now in my hand, and it's an extension of my body. You're going to come over here and tell me that you're not chipped? You chipped yourself, and then you go and you chip your kids. On top of chipping your kids, you chip your infants with tablets and shit. We're all chipped. We're all tracked. We're all listened to. And all 5 senses have been bombarded by propaganda. Nothing is real. Everything is fake. What you eat is fucked up. What you hear is fucked up. What you're digesting, fuck up. And you are what you are. You're a fuck up. And I'm not saying you're a fuck up, but we live in a fucked up world that's fucking us over. Now, going back to the unification of the religions. Do you actually think that the opening of Abu Dhabi in 2023 and the Abrahamic family houses, the unification of these religions, are just to worship or to bring in salvation? No. Honestly, it isn't. Quite frankly, like everything else, I think these religions are perverted. They're hungry for money. They're egotistical. And they obviously think that we're stupid. We live in a time of revelation already. That's just my theory. And I honestly believe that these three houses, or the Abrahamic religions, unifying in one area of the world only speed up the process of them unifying in a one world religion. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this part of the show by saying that they're speeding up revelations, and that what we're looking forward to, and what's the only thing that's going to basically keep us together during the process of the one world religion, currency, and government, is going to be a rapture. And we might think about it as a UFO abduction case. Now, there is something that I need to bring up, because we did not touch base on it during the fucking conversation with Flash from Flash_News1 on Instagram. It was the Twitter files. Now, he mentioned that he sent me 8 of them. But we're actually now on part 11. And part 11 is actually bringing out to the light that not only Trump, because Trump used also Twitter. And he used it during his campaign from 2016 to 2020 to hide the runnings on the grocery stores that people were doing for toilet. He used it as propaganda. He used it for his own benefit. However, that's nothing compared to what Joe Biden did. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Joe Biden campaign thrived. And I'm not saying the Democrats. I'm going to say the campaign. Because a lot of my friends and family are Democrats. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. But the elites, the elected, I'm going to call again, quotation marks in the air, elected officials of the Democratic Party used social media sites not only to influence, but to hide the truth from people. As a matter of fact, Dr. Martin Koldoff, look it up. This is straight from Google. A world-renowned doctor was talking against the COVID vaccine, not as a whole, but talking about the COVID vaccine against the elder and the infants. And he was completely shut off. Joe Biden appointed a specific team to bring down these people off the media sites, discredit them, take their credentials out of their life, destroy their life, and then had an army of bots destroy that narrative, and also, quote unquote, fact checkers to fact you and then ban you off your fucking social media sites. They're trying to hide the truth from you for a specific reason. And we're so fucking gullible to still vote for these elected officials. Ladies and gentlemen, this happened real time. Now, there's announcements that during the Twitter files, right, that were found actually in the Twitter files, that federal agencies, partition officials demanded accounts to be removed. Representative Adam Schiff for Schiff's office requested tech giant to suspend accounts by the daily. Now, there's reports of violation of the Constitution, freedom of speech, and on top of that, lying to the American people about certain situations in this country for political, for power, and financial gain. It's not the first time that this has happened. It's happened before. Now that I'm talking about the Twitter files, I just remembered something. Last night I was talking with Rico, and he is a big fan of ours. I'm a big fan of him. He has talent and passion for this conspiracy stuff. He's a supporter of Paranoid Radio Podcast. And he mentioned to me that we're all waiting. He told me first that it's really hard to keep up with with Twitter files, right? The Twitter files. Because just a couple of nights ago, we said number 8, and now I'm on 11. I might be wrong with this. Don't quote me, ladies and gentlemen. But, however, on Google, I found number 11, and I gave you the details already. But we're also discussed about how in the Truth Movement, we're waiting for the Fauci files to drop on Twitter, right? That's a big thing. So people here in the community, in the conspiracy world, right? Once that drops, things are going to start cracking down because he'll go to jail. Dirty business dealings around the world and specific pandemic issues where he was involved. And I don't know if you heard what I said, pandemic. Excuse me. So then we started thinking, he's not going to go to jail. This guy's an elite. He has too much protection. And believe it or not, the fucking cabal is still in control. So probably there will be a psyop or a distraction. And then we jumped into the fucking main portion of that conversation. We started thinking, what will be the things that they'll use, excuse me, to show you a psyop and do sleight of hand on you? And we came up with these little solutions. Tates being suicided and then protests take over the world all over the streets, the news outlets will fucking cover the Tates situation. There, again, quotation marks in the air, suicide, and the people will go wild. Men will run the streets, right? And it'll show that they'll rather take a hit with free speech, and I'm doing quotations again in the air, guys. I'm being exaggerative. They'll take a hit with free speech instead of taking a hit with the pharmaceutical companies and Fauci, somebody that was on the chair for many years here as a representative elected official here in the United States. Well, he's not an elected official, actually. So you see what I'm saying, though, right? They're going to get hit, but they'd rather get hit in a smaller portion somewhere that they can control the masses instead of making the United States government look corrupt as fuck. And that's what it's here. This is what it's all about. The United States will never submit, and that's something that you need to understand. Another idea that we had, that we were spitballing last night, was either Zelensky gets knocked out dead and World War III actually starts with NATO getting involved in Ukraine, or even worse, China does something to provoke Taiwan, and the United States now, with sleepy Joe Biden, Joe Dirt Fuckface, we go to war, protecting Taiwan and all our computer chips. Pelosi's computer chips. See, guys, okay, so this all might happen, and we're at the verge of war, and our relationships with these countries are at their lowest for decades. So for the people that do not know, this is really happening. On top of that, guys, there's more. Newsweek, which is a credible news outlet, just put out 2 nights ago that the Russian government shut down a UFO. Bam! Blow your fucking mind. Yes, they shut down a UFO, and this is not just some fucking ugly, shady fucking news outlet on Google. You don't have to dig for this. You type that in, and you'll get many outlets talking about this specific thing. Russia shut down a UFO. Now I'm going into a whole different ballgame, but if they're trying to fucking unify the religions and unify the cryptocurrency world-renowned gold back, bring the dollar down and have one world currency, we're only one step away from the coming of God, aka UFO abduction. Bam. All right, guys, that's just me spitballing here. Stick with me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this Monday drop. This is a little cream for your coffee, a little jive for your drive. I hope you enjoyed this little segment episode, and I'm going to be dropping these snippet episodes, little fast drop, little quick, quick news segments, and covering topics and points that we weren't able to bring up on our previous episodes. So it kind of works like a buffer. It kind of works like a little cushion for the pushing, if you get my drift, catch my drift. Things that we couldn't speak on those specific episodes, I'm going to drop these episodes to fill in those gaps. So if you have information that you think we missed, for example, my homie Rico, he's very active. He sends me, yo, you missed this, you missed this. If there's things that you guys know about that I missed, information that we couldn't bring up, send it over to me on Paranoid Radio on Instagram. DM me, Paranoid Radio, DM me, and send me the information you would like for me to research, and then I'll add it on these Monday drops. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. And you can find us at paranoidradio.com. Paranoidradio.com. You'll find all our platforms, all our special guests, their links, their websites. If you want to reach out to them, have questions or anything, make sure you follow them. Shout outs to our main collaborators upcoming for this month. That is JB from the Fel Academy and Rogue One Media on rogue1.com. Followed up by yours truly, obviously, JD Flashy _ News 1 on Instagram. And then we have the Warp Reality Podcast with Ghost Joe, bringing you the stories from paranormal activities and stuff and such. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This is Paranoid Radio Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Trebles is out.
Paranoid Radio.